here they are. So, as we have seen, Marin did win the die roll, huge thing. And of course, once again, when you go first with the live twin version, it's actually quite interesting because you can go through a different variety of plays. And here we go with the one Iberia.
Yeah, we've said this before, especially because like the deck still goes through a lot of plays. It's pretty much different rather than the Ronic Spright deck because it plays multiple copies of, you know, Ash Blossom, Permanence. These are the most played cards.
And I think he passed just like this. I think so. Wow, what a start. He just passed with the Iberia. Such an unfortunate end. Ooh. And we see here a little smile when the Fiendish Rhino comes down. And here, after 8 years, almost 9, we get to see once again the boy, Dante. Probably, at least, let's see if Nadhir will go for it. But
yeah, most likely. We have seen throughout the time how this deck still powerful, how much it is. And like with all the Link monsters, he gained advantage with Cherubini and...
absolutely, yeah. Wow, and actually an interesting play here. We get to see Nadhir just actually attacking and maybe going for a huge Zeus in Memphis 2. Could be the case. He doesn't want to waste the materials. He wants to go for a Downerd or just Zeus right away. He does. Interesting sequence here for sure. And this is already looking promising for our Burning Abyss player.
Would you have thought about summoning Dark Magician over Dante?
He's even playing it.
Yeah,
then.
he's playing 2 copies.
Okay, that's an interesting thing, but for sure.
Yeah.
Now we get to see. I think he has like maybe. I saw a droplet.
Yeah,
and I can't quite tell the other trap card, but just as we mentioned, we can quickly cover some of the really good things about this engine, which is that you can draw multiple cards. Essentially, first of all, you don't give up your battle phase, which is huge. And then you get to just do a lot with these, for example, here on the field. Essentially, they are similar to Dipsy Diva and the Beavers, which we saw very popular at the European Championship, in which one card combo.
Yeah.
But the plus side is that you get to draw 2 cards, which is why they play these many entraps.
Yeah, and also I think that the Evil Twin Link monsters are very powerful in between another because basically you can bring them up very often during the main phase. If you don't control one or the other, you can special summon them from the graveyard.
Yeah.
Okay. Now he goes for another Zeus, and I think he also drew into a nice Dragon Prison. Because he's maining, he's maining 3 copies of it, which is great in this context.
Yeah, it's one of those trap cards which is considered really good because even going second, you can use it.
Farfa just taking a look at the life points, and you can consider now going for the Zeus because like he could push enough damage later on.
You think to go for a game, maybe?
Yeah, you could.
It's bold. Yeah. I think he is doing it,
yeah.
Right? He's also playing the rest of the Burning Abyss package, and he does go for it. So Farfa just trying to go for game right away, giving up 2 of his cards, but he gets it with a Ghost Ogre. Wow.
Gets punished here.
Yeah, big punish. Big punish
and,
here.
And also he chained Winter Cherries. I mean, for sure, like, you don't expect Ghost Ogre being played because it's not so popular.
Absolutely, yeah. Ghost Ogre is one of those which we have seen maybe in the past against like the adventure decks, but for this event, definitely an interesting choice. And now I think it's a huge punish, as you mentioned, and he will be forced to just try and push some damage nonetheless. It is possible.
Yeah.
But
he could go for Seer.
he's risking it, yeah.
He could, because like with Run, you can bring Seer or okay, Graph, yeah, and also Ash. Wow.
All
it was
of
all
the
yeah,
Anchops.
all of them.
All of the different sisters, we can say. So Ogre, Ash, and Winter Cherries. Essentially, Bell missing a few of them, Marner, but yeah.
He could have gone instead for Sir directly rather than risking the Ash Blossom, right?
Honestly.
Yeah.
And now let's see if he can push for game.
Yeah,
He does have Seer. He special summons the Scarf.
Yeah.
And he will try and push for game right away. He just needs another name. You can go for Beatrice, for example. But definitely hurts, because also the decision, as you mentioned, to not use the downwards and use the second Zeus is a huge one.
Yeah, because if your plan is really going into Zeus, then I will not risk the second one. So you're playing to downward, why not?
But here we get Cherubini.
Yeah.
Let's see, he has a few options. He's not playing the Phantom Knights, by the way. He's just playing straight up Burning Abyss, which is interesting. Just filled with traps and some of these tech cards like the Deinamiscus, Lava Golem. So an interesting build for sure by Nadhir. He should have enough. Is he playing access code or which? Yeah, he does. So like he can go even just for a simple access code play with the Barber, and that's enough for game, for example. So let's see.
Yeah,
honestly, I still have.
There's Nibiru.
And yeah, Nibiru, even the last of the entry, essentially drew
all of them.
one of each entrops he's playing, but yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, that's why he passed turn.
And honestly, yeah, this is when I think you think a little too much. He could have simply rode this Zeus to victory, I think, without doing anything. And instead, he risked it, got too greedy, and he's getting punished here. Now, yeah, he gets to push like 900 damage if he feels like it. It seems like he's considering just doing 600 to him.
Because now Nadhir needs to be careful because he's left with one card in hand.
Yeah.
He gets the Search in hand faced with Skarm.
He does use the Barbar, but
I'm still pretty convinced if he had someone the Downer Magician and then now he would have another Zeus, right?
Yeah, for sure, this is definitely a huge punish. And now let's see if Marin can pick up another of his live twin cards.
Okay.
He doesn't, but he has Jet. Let's see if he has something else in his hand. Wow, and look at this graveyard. It just has all of the entrops in one off.
And this is on the other hand, I think the risk of playing so many, you know?
Absolutely. And here you thought that Nadhir has a Ice Dragon Prison set, I think?
Torrential.
No, yes, Torrential Tribute. Wow, what a throwback. So Torrential Tribute from Nadhir. Definitely a card we haven't seen in a while, but that's the job done. And yeah, you can see both players smiling a little bit. And now it's Nadhir once again who needs to top deck Tour Guide, for example. Would be nice. Let's see what he gets. I can't quite tell. Right? Probably 2 Burning Abyss Masters. How many Dante is he actually playing?
I think 2.
Yeah, just 2 Dante, okay. But as you mentioned, no more Zeus.
Yeah, there's no more Zeus, but this is huge because like here he could have pushed some damage.
It's basically getting to an old top deck game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they just gonna see if they draw anything relevant off the top. But yeah, he basically has 2 Burning Abyss, I believe. Yeah, he does go for Seer. And another Seer,
one.
Wow. That's not the best, but yeah, he can push some damage. And unfortunately, he's out of Zeus. So he will need to just try his best to stay in this. But what an unfortunate decision, because if that was a downer, you know, he would have
Yeah.
used it. Now he could go for Zeus, and this game would be much, much better for Nadhir.
Yeah, his decision to cap the
Yeah,
downer, I think, could change this game.
absolutely. Now
Yeah.
he has 2 useless downers in the extra deck, and no more Zeus. And here Dante, what year is this, honestly? Lava Golem even, and he does mill Farfa finally. But yeah, this is definitely an interesting one to see in 2020 Shu. But now it's Marin who needs to top deck one of his Spright monsters. Any evil twin will do. Wow, and he does not. So maybe we'll get this game 1 from Nadhir, who needs to mill, but really is in a really good spot. Let's see if he can hit anything relevant. He does not. I mean, if he has any monster, really, he can just bring out the Farfa and just win with himself, essentially. So let's see. Okay, considering bringing back Cherubini. And yeah, this is looking quite promising from Nadhir. And to the Farfa, he takes the game. It doesn't get much more than this. Yeah, what a game, what a game. Honestly, it's showing off again these Spright decks, which have been using these engines, maybe not testing to the fullest of their potential, and we have seen both at times where they pick up their cards and they don't have the most explosive events. This was the case. I mean, he literally just went first, Hyperia, pass.
I mean, I think I've never seen it.
Yeah, just Hyperia and pass, but the end was crazy, because the end was actually all of his end shop, all of his cards, like 1 Ash Blossom, 1 Ghost Ogre, 1 Winter Cherries, 1 Nibiru. This was the end. And Nadhir honestly risked it a lot. Like, he had pretty much just this Zeus. He could have won the game with the... I don't know. We can probably ask him at the end, because he could have went for downer, stacked the Zeus on top. That was it.
Yeah, because he risked it. Because basically, if Marin would have drawn into any other card, basically, because like he said, a monster and he passed.
And again, also, like, you know, Hyperia is being played by Sprites only. What cards really can they have in their hands which are not used? Like, it's obviously gonna be those type of cards. So once you get to the Zeus, you don't want to commit. You just attack a couple of turns and you win the game. And in case they get something to get rid of them, because he also was holding Dynamiscus, which is so good against Pro. I think, yeah, really, Nadhir got super greedy. Maybe the only real punish was the Ghost Ogre, which he couldn't see, to be fair. But, I mean, still, congratulations to both. And Burning Abyss, 1 game up.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were not expecting to seeing Adamantipator being played round 1 and then Burning Abyss, but looking at the side decks...
Yeah, let's look at what do you think Marin is going to try to do now?
I mean, if I would play against Burning Abyss, first of all, I would have troubles, because, like, basically, I'm prepared to play against basically all of the other decks. You know, Tournaments, Mirror Match, Ronic. I think against Burning Abyss, Dimensional Shifter is a big one, for sure. But, of course, like, he's going first. The thing is that he's playing a lot of Entra. A lot. So basically,
and he saw it.
And he saw it. So I think he needs to side out the Winter Cherries. It's not useful against Burning Abyss at all.
Instead, one of the, I think, tech side decks ideas for this weekend is Dimension Shifter in Spright.
Exactly.
Essentially, you side 3 copies alongside Spright Gamma Burst, and then when you go second, you can pretty much try and OTK these decks. I think it's really cool. So that, as we saw, against that traditional Burning Abyss list is really good. But as you mentioned, if I was Marin, probably I would have PTSD from 2014, because there was a time in my life where I lost to Burning Abyss over the course of, I think, 5 years in a row, and every year Burning Abyss was still there. So I wouldn't want to be in Marin's shoes at the moment, but we'll see. He'll try to keep up his nerves, but I think our players are pretty much ready for Game 2. Let's see if our duelists will be able to beat Farfa Nadhir, the bounty duelist. And here they are. So obviously we're hoping for a better starting end from Marin. Let's see if he can get things done. To be fair with this build sometimes, okay, this is already much better. Luckily for him. As we mentioned, one card is really all you need to combo off with this engine. And in this case, he got one of the better ones, which is the Lilla.
Yeah. And what I really like about playing Evil Twin Spright is that if you play against Ronin Spright instead, as we mentioned earlier in our first field match, you don't really play beside Ronin cards, cards such as Ash Blossom or Impermanence.
Yeah.
So you can commit more. And like the Evil Twin Link monsters are super powerful. And he's also playing, I think, one of the cards that could be the highlight of the weekend, which is the Mannequin Cat.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we will see it in action soon.
Yeah. He does not play some of these really interesting tech cards in the side deck, but it is definitely one of those you can bring out. And it's an interesting idea for this weekend where we have seen like tech cards all the way from the end of Anubis, which we probably won't see, but would be absolutely great in this matchup against Burning Abyss. So let's see if we can see it. Definitely, I think we have never seen this card out of YCS ever since it came out. So it would be cool to do it for sure. And yeah, it's obviously there for tier elements. Yeah. But you take it against Burning Abyss any day of the week, really.
I'm looking at Farfa's side deck. I think he could side in Red Jackie.
Yeah, Raigeki definitely an option. Interesting that he went with triple Raigeki instead of Lightning Storm.
Yeah.
But it is there, so we might see it
stick to the old school
Nadhir.
plan.
Yeah. It is at free. It is at free.
Yeah.
So you might as well use it, to be fair. So we'll see if Nadhir has one of these copies. But here for now, as mentioned, this is what you usually start things off. And you go for the live twin combos. Essentially, you get to draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
Fish for any of your options. Nibiru, one of them. I think Ghost Ogre probably got sided out, I want to bet. But it did win him the game in game 1.
The deck is super consistent. I really like it, especially because like you keep, you know, summoning back your Evil Twin Link monsters from the graveyard once you don't have one or the another. It's not easy to play against the deck. It's very consistent. Plays, you know, multiple copies of Ash Blossom Impermanence.
Absolutely.
He plays 15 in total.
Yeah, he's playing main decking 15, siding even the Effect Veilers Shifter. So he has so many interruptions coming from these draws. And here, again, continuing his usual plays. Is he also using some trap cards in the side deck? I don't think so. Yeah, no. Not really, but it sets Shu, which could be, again, Infinite Impermanence or, of course, the Spright Smashers. Let's see if there is a Raigeki, though, coming down from Nadhir.
I think there is a Lava Golem.
Yeah, we could have another of those cards, which surprisingly being quite popular in the main deck this week.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of players relying on Lava Golem in the main deck. We're talking about Spright players or tournament players.
And he does have it, so Nadhir with the Lava Golem in his hand, considering his options at the moment. And he does go for Lava Golem right away, so interesting start, both having a laugh at it, but
I think he might not be holding any other
too many monsters. Yeah, I think he's considering just setting a few cards, which makes this Lava Golem double-edged sword, I would say, because sure, you got rid of 2 of these monsters, but now there is this 3000 bit stick. Wow, and a set face down. Again, I will repeat what I said in game 1. What year is this? But Nadhir seems to get things done, and Marin will now draw. I guess you have a lot of options, but Yeah, he took 1,000 from the Lava Golem, and he's now considering his options. So seems like he wants to go right away for a Spright Elf. It's considering. And yeah, let's see what he goes for. It is the elf. Again, what a great card.
I think here if Nadhir has a
Yeah.
Ice Dragon Prison,
I think so.
that might hurt.
This is again one of the many trap cards in Nadhir's deck. Let's see if he wants to activate it right away. And he does. So Ice Dragon Prison being used by Nadhir. Probably wants to get rid of both elves. Yeah, this is what happens, but I think he has resolved it. That would be quite surprising, I think. Really? Okay. Does it surprise you at all that he didn't actually go for the other effect?
Yeah, exactly.
Of prison?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, does he have? Okay, he has Droplet.
Okay, if he
can
gets
trigger
rid
graph,
of the face down. But yeah, that's still a little surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, because like here he can go for graph and then grab Tour Guide in the end phase if he really wants to. Still think about the Ice Dragon Prison.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't just go for the second effect, I would say.
But here we see the triple tactics
Wow.
talent.
3 copies in the main deck from Marin. Really, really thinking that it's a card that could shine. Of course, it really depends on the matchup, I would say, because against Runic Spright in specific, it isn't the best. But when you go second, it's one of those cards that could shine alongside Change of Heart as well. So it's definitely an interesting choice in the main deck, especially in 3 copies. But do you think he's gonna try and push for game right here, right now, or just?
I think he's considering it, but
Okay,
no.
He just moves to the battle phase, gonna push some damage, and either commit right away. Wow. Okay.
Another
Interesting
elf.
line. Another elf. What do you think he's playing around here?
I think, what could he be afraid of? Because, like, I mean,
He ends. Wow, okay. Interesting line of plays by both. And now we get to see the first tour guide of the match. Again, a card that has been seen in play, I think, since 2011, winning the European Championship. And wow, it has been a lot of time.
Oh, and now we have seen Effect Veiler being played on the tour guide. Decided in Effect Veiler.
I mean, it makes sense.
It's okay.
It's okay. You can use it on that spot. Worst case scenario, you can just try and stop Zeus if they use it on their turn. But
because like Farfa is holding a Droplet. And he has a Rhino Heart.
Then in that case, you can just consider using it right here, right now. But I think it is Marin who is now on the other side, thinking about his priority, we can say, to use the elf. Definitely a slower game on our hands on this time. Our players really, really considering their options and not wanting to give up the game so quickly.
Because here you can risk on activating the droplet, but I think you maybe just wait. We don't know the last car Nadhir has, which is... Oh, okay.
Another Ice Dragon Prison, okay. Once again, Ice Dragon Prison. Used a copy in the previous turn, gonna use another one here.
Maybe he wants to deal some damage, because...
I mean, with this one, I can see it. With the previous one, I really don't see it, especially because if you... We mentioned now, for example, Marin is playing Winter Cherries in the main deck mainly for Elf. With one Prison, you just get rid of 2 right away. Then if you have another Prison, you get rid of the last. And the deck turns into a very weird grind game in which I think Burning Abyss can get favorite. But right here, he's just going to try and play his cards. He can go for Dark. Instead, he goes for the Nightmare Unicorn. Kind of a desperate last hope. Gets rid of the Rhino and will try his best to stay in this game. Let's see if there is a response from Marin.
I think he's going to shuffle back either one of the set cards, right?
It's one of those, you know, game of chicken where you have to figure out whether you want to risk it and hit one of those cards, or you think you can still hit in the battle phase and you just want to guarantee getting rid of the elf. Okay, doesn't matter too much. Impermanence comes down to negate the effect of Nightmare Unicorn, and now we get to see the Fiendish Rhino in the graveyard.
Ooh, okay, chains the droplet.
Interesting, okay. So chaining droplet, so elf resolves, and now we could see the Rhino. Unless Nadhir forgets about it. Okay, luckily he doesn't, and he will activate it and resolve Fiendish Rhino. He could get... Okay, place it a little slower. So he just moves to the end phase, activate this card, maybe gets the second copy of Tour Guide, and now Marin needs to push some damage. Is it Tour Guide? I think so,
yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Let's see. He needs, again, any of his twin cards. Starter. Ooh, and he gets the starter off the top. What a draw from Marin. Great stuff. Yep. It was definitely the best top deck for him. And we might see pretty soon a game 3, honestly.
Yeah. That's what he needed, for real.
Absolutely great, great draw. And this also cut some of the top decks from Nadhir himself, because you get the Smashers now. And yeah, this is so... Okay. So much difficult. He's considering his options.
Yeah, he added the start now. Because he already used 2 elf, at least 2 elf. But I think it makes sense to go for another one. Yeah. Now he gets to draw 1 with the
again,
Hyperia.
Hyperia using its effect to draw 1. You can actually go and probably push some damage with the Gigantic. He goes with the blue. Ooh, and now we finally see the Mannequin Cat. That's a card we have been hyping up quite a bit for different reasons. you can use it to special summon, as you can see here, a monster from your opponent's graveyard. So this is already a way to just push a lot of damage, which is probably what we're gonna see here. But it's also the second effect, which is quite relevant in a lot of these matchups. Because you can just end on a Mannequin Cat, and as soon as they special summon, you get to summon these very cheeky cards from the deck. But now, Tour Guide, it's the field.
Yeah, he's trying to stay in this game. Now he's going to activate the Mannequin Cat.
Yeah, and here we get to see the Mannequin Cat in action. Will be able to use its effect to special summon one from the deck. What do you think he might go for? Just the Jet?
Yeah. He gets another starter.
Do you think he should have picked the Smashers instead of the starter?
I think so.
Maybe it's the last face down. But yeah, I think we have seen enough. So Nadhir picks up his cards and will go to game 3. So 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Definitely a more of a back and forth game 2. Both players having a little bit of, I would get nerves on their hands on figuring out the best lines, but in the end it was Marin who just had too much of a good start for Nadhir, and now it gets interesting actually.
Yeah, especially because like Nadhir, I mean, he's prepared to go first as well.
Yeah.
He has Solemn Judgment. He also plays Anti-Spell Fragrance, which is good going first. I mean, also I think that we need to be consider is like there are almost 12 minutes remaining on the clock.
Absolutely.
Which is something you have to consider when you play against Burning Abyss because of Barbar and also because his deck is not easy, you know, to beat like very easily. Talking about
the Solemn Judgments are also
exactly. So it's
a
a double-edged sword.
Idea, yeah. So on the other hand, though, as you mentioned, Marin now goes second. We saw he has between the main deck and the side deck 21 possible hand traps, but he can side evenly matched. And I think I really would like to see the Dimension Shifter. It's a really interesting one,
I'd like to see this as well. I mean, Pancratops as well will go.
Yeah, Pancratops goes in. Cosmic Cyclone, again, the most popular card in all of our duelists this weekend. Over 82% of the field is using Cosmic Cyclone, which is unprecedented, I think.
Yeah.
But then we do see the little cheeky red Resonator in there, which could come in handy. Honestly, I think you side it every time when there is like 10 minutes left in the round, especially when you go second. You have to side it. If it is a different matchup, maybe not. It's BA. I mean, they have Barbar, as you mentioned. You have to side it in. So maybe we'll see that. But I really, maybe for Nadhir's fans out there, they wouldn't be on the same page as me. But I want to see this Dimension Shifter Gamma Burst combo coming from the Spright decks. Really curious to see if that will impact. And at the end of the day, Dimension Shifter won the last YCS over in Canada, which was in Niagara Falls. But that's Exo Sisters, and yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We are focused on Burning Abyss at the moment, so I think our duelists are getting ready. So without further ado, let's find out if Nadhir will keep his packs as a bounty duelist, or if Marin will be the first to defeat him and already grab a small prize for this weekend. Let's go to the table for game 3. Here they are, almost done with shuffling, and there are less than 12 minutes remaining. What do you think is the ending ideal board for Nadhir?
The problem here is that Marin is playing a lot of different hand traps. And he was punished in game 1 by Ghost Ogre as well, so you could consider it.
Is that a desire, maybe?
Yeah, is it?
Okay. Yeah. Great start here. If we don't see Ash Blossom, that's always what you want to start things off with. Why not? It does resolve, so great stuff here already by Nadhir. I see some really good traps. I think like double Ice Prison, maybe Torrential Tribute, so a lot of traps from Nadhir. But he needs some monsters to stay in this game.
Let's see if he drew into... Okay, he has Seer. And does he have another one?
Okay, he does. Interesting order.
Scarm.
What do you think? Would you have done the opposite way?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, you go normal Scarm, special Seer.
I would say so as well. It depends again if he has maybe a third name, but no.
I think he...
Wow, I think he might have gone for the other order actually. Very interesting here, but he goes right away into one of the tech ideas. And I mean, I guess I can see the merit of this line. It's definitely an unusual one, but we get to see the one gravity controller coming in the deck. Yeah, we see the setup with the Beatrice, and now he will set just a couple of trap cards.
Okay.
He sets 3, so here, let's see if Marin can draw is evenly matched, because that would be insane. Let's see. Do we hear the enter battle phase? I think we might, because I'm seeing Nadhir shaking his head. We might have an enter battle phase from Marin. Ooh, and it is heavenly match coming down. What a heartbreaking moment. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it is like this. Wow.
This is what he needed. Yeah.
I mean, either you use the Beatrice now and then you keep a trap. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or you just keep the Beatrice, but honestly, it's such a shame. Yeah. He does. He will go for the Beatrice, just trying to set up, maybe send the Scarm to get the tour guide. Let's see.
Yeah, this evenly matched.
Yeah, it hurts so much. I think
lot.
You keep Torrential, right?
Yeah, I will keep Torrential.
I think I keep Torrential face down. And yeah, makes sense. You're not supposed to show them. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, he keeps one card face down. I would say the Torrential every day of the week. And now he goes and just gets some resources back. Maybe send a Scarm here. Or another Seer. Let's see. I think Scarm is better, right?
If he has another...
Of course. Like, we don't know because of Pot of Desires. He might have banished all of his cards, really. Ooh, what do you think of RP Feather Duster going first, being kept in the deck?
Unusual, for sure.
So Graf is instead the option here. Maybe going for a Scarm instead, goes for a Farfa. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe he's out of fuss. Yeah.
Not gonna reply to that, but let's see now. So there is only one more card face down, and what a way to start from Marin. Not only the evenly matched, he even has access to his life twins, and this makes it so much more difficult for his opponent to fight back. And here is the key skill. Essentially, you can go either way. I think you'll get some translation here, but I mean, regardless, it's pretty simple stuff.
Yeah.
We have to keep in mind, of course, that there are 7 minutes left. Because the battle phase, to be fair, is gone.
Yeah.
So unless we see a combo with like Red Resonator on top, we might actually see a draw or a Barber for game in 2022. So this game is still far from over, or far from over. Which again, just to stay on your humor. Ooh, and here commitment. But the carrot was really, really what he needed. I have to say he got quite lucky with that one, but now the situation has gone dramatically worse for Nadhir, and it's pretty much just on his opponent to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Do you think there was any merit for just using it right away on the second summon? I guess like Carrot is really the
Yeah, I
only
mean,
one.
yeah, that's the only one. Yeah.
It's quite unfortunate, but sometimes it's your day or it's your game. So from here on, as I mentioned, time is crucial.
Yeah.
So honestly, even if it's maybe not the best, you could go for the red resonator just to not risk anything.
Yeah, you don't risk it.
Like technically you would like to go for either Hyperia or the Jet and then get smashers and so on. But 5 minutes remaining, we might see the ding ding dong coming down. So let's see. Of course, we can enjoy or at least consider the fact that, as a reminder, for this event, we're using 45 minutes, which means that in 7 seconds, it would have been a timeout. And here we see the red resonator. I called it. It was pretty much needed, but we'll see how much of a difference it makes, at least for this round, because now the game would be over on the spot, because there are 5 minutes remaining, but we play at 45. So let's see if this actually makes a difference. But this card still, we mentioned now it was quite popular at the European Championship. Makes sense. Wow, but there is actually the Art Drone Jet as well. So why not just go for the Resonator to gain some life points?
No, as you said, like there were 12 minutes remaining on the clock.
Yep.
I don't think it was correct to side in the red Resonator, just because, you know, the Burning Abyss deck does so much, and
absolutely
able to win as well. So
now we can get to the Elf, which means if we want to go super aggressive on the Resonator line, we could even just bring it back, but at the moment not really the best. You can do it next turn, potentially. Let's see. Okay, here we just see, I think it makes sense. You are in a spot in which your opponent is just forced, if he wants to do anything, to commit to the link. And obviously the cool thing is the Dynamiscus doesn't have a cost, which makes it a really good card in tier elements as well. Okay, yeah, it gets negated. And yeah, I think he changed the effect as well.
yeah, that carrot changed a lot. That changed the game, definitely.
But do you think actually keeping the Dynamiscus was better than the Torrential? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That will be interesting to know, because he had Torrential, as Dragon Prison, and the Dynamiscus. So
okay, it seems like he's basically done, but at the very end he basically goes for a third Elf. No, instead he goes for the combo. Okay, so he goes for the Light Twin setup and the Evil Twin coming back, and now it's Nadhir against this setup with just a few minutes remaining. He didn't go for the Skarm, but unfortunately he has double Seer. He needs something, and the Smasher coming down from Marin. Can this be enough? We know that the last card in his hand is Ice Dragon Prison, so this might just be enough for the UK player. Just trying to stay in this game with 2 minutes remaining, of course. Close one, closer, of course, than we could imagine. Well, tough.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, it's trying to remain into this game. There's not that much that Nadhir can do at the moment.
Yeah, the last card, face down from Nadhir, being this Ice Dragon Prison, which unfortunately will not be good enough for the moment, because as you can see here, getting popped, Marin just already ahead in life with 1.5 minutes later. And unfortunately, Nadhir keeps up the game, and it is Marin who takes down the bounty and will get some free packs. So congratulations to both, but let's go back to us. What a match again. This time we saw actually a pretty good comeback, because in game 1, Nadhir showed off his Burning Abyss. Again, 2022, you were not watching a replay from a past event. Dante taking it down in game 1 with quite a fashion, I would say, and showing off why at least Nadhir was able to win round 1 at YCS Utrecht. But in the end, we saw back and forth. I think game 2 was really the crucial one. Whoever, of course, whoever was going to win it, was going to win it in the case of Nadhir, but it was the real game in which they had the most decisions. And I think probably both could have done a few things differently, and we don't know for certain how the game could have ended.
Yeah, it was like, I think, I don't want to say 50-50, but close to that.
Close,
sure. Because like there was a chance in which Nadhir could have won the game, then Marin was able to come back into it. We have to say it was a very close one, especially because Marin deck is oriented to play against the current meta.
Absolutely.
And I think this is a very important win for him.
Yeah, as you mentioned, and as we were saying, even in round 1 with Ryan, when you have an event such as this one, where you have over 2,100 players, especially in the first 3 to 4 rounds, but probably like 2 to 3, you can play against any deck of the format, and even decks you have never seen before. So if you play a deck so extreme as Marin one, with even Winter Cherries in the main deck, it's so important that you win these early rounds, and for now he's 2-0, so great chances of advancing and just crushing once he gets to play against Spright, Runix, and of course Tier Elements, which we have not yet seen this weekend on stream, but it's technically the most represented deck by a slight margin, though, I gotta say. But regardless, game 3 was the one where unfortunately the opening, I think, from Nadhir was interesting, because we were expecting like a different setup with Siren Scar.
Yeah, like usually you go for Dante Mill 3, then you search for Scar. Then instead he goes for something different, you know, bringing on the field Beatrice, which was very interesting. And I think the only real card that Marin needed was evenly matched.
Absolutely.
In order to, you know,
because
like,
to be fair, he opened with Beatrice, Torrential Tribute, Dynamiscus, and even the Ice Dragon Prison. That's really hard to fight back. But this weekend is quite different from the previous one. Cards like Evenly Matched, RP Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, they are all cards that are really popular because of the runic decks. And all of these cards could have been really good against the opening from Nadhir. I did call it, so I feel slightly bad for like Nadhir and his fans. But yeah, Evenly Matched was there. We could tell because pretty much at the beginning of the turn, Nadhir was looking at him, looking at the camera and like smiling, because he probably just said, enter battle phase, anything. And I think Evenly pretty much won the game. But you did mention it well. What won it was also the Arjun Carrot. In the end, we discovered that Nadhir kept the Dynamiscus. Of course, he's not the winner of the match, so we cannot ask him about that decision, but it would have been interesting, because if he kept the Torrential, maybe things could have gone differently. But regardless, just as a final reminder, Nadhir was a bounty duelist, so once we get to Ed and his interview, we can ask to his opponent if he's happy about these packs that he claimed from Parfa. But without further ado, I want to thank you guys again for staying with us and watching this live stream. This was round 2. We still have plenty. There are 9 rounds today, so a lot of action. But now, let's hear it from Marin. Smash it, Ed.
Okay, guys, and I am here with the round 2 winner, Marin. First of all, congratulations. That was an absolutely amazing game. Firstly, just want to ask, how did you feel about going up against Burning Abyss in this tournament, 2022?
Like, you know, Burning Abyss is like one of my first competitive deck, so that was like a blast from the past, if I have to say this. Like, yeah, and also one of my favorite one. So that was cool. Yeah.
And you beat Farfa, a well-known content creator in the Yu-Gi-Oh sphere, but also one of the bounties. So you've got yourself some prizes for winning this as well. How does that feel?
That's cool. Like also like that was my first feature match playing against Farfa. That was something that was really
a good memory to make for this. So let's talk a little bit about your game, because it didn't start so hot for you in game one. So you kind of bricked. Talk to us about what was going through your mind in game one.
Like, in game one, I was like, I need to see a level 2, but also like when I saw one, like the live twin, he had something to stop it. So that was like really tough. But yeah, I also ran a lot of untrap, but things like this won't, like usually don't come like in 2 games in a row. So that was like I was confident from game 2 and 3, and yeah, hopefully I won't like break with the untrap again, like, and that didn't happen. So that's cool.
To be fair, the hand traps you had Ash, Ogre, Nib, Winter Cherries, all of these came out, or at least in your hand during that first game. So you, even though you bricked, you were kind of prepared for some of the stuff.
That's why also like I was, this entrap can give me time, because if I Ash the graph, if I Ogre something to remove the body and like make him do 5 summon for the Nibiru to come out, I can survive and I can wait for something. Like I need in the first game I drew a jet, and I was like, okay, that's the thing that I want, but he has something like for the jet with the torrential tribute, and I was like, maybe I can do an elf with level 2 and start playing, but yeah, that wasn't the case.
Game 2, you started off way stronger. You built a really strong field straight away. So tell us about the momentum that you had in game 2.
When I saw my hand, I was like, okay, this one, it will be hard to lose. If I lose, that's my fault. Like, because I had the Spright access, I have the normal summon, I also have the extender for the live twin. So basically I have everything. So if I lose this one, I also have TTT. But you don't have any entraps, so it come up like later in the game. So yeah, the end was like just unbeatable, I think.
And then moving into the final round, where you guys were playing quite close to time, but you still, again, you managed to set a lot of things up, be evenly matched as well.
A thing about this evenly, my hand was like 2 blue, carrots, the evil twin, the red one, and another monster. Yeah, a Veiler. I drew the evenly as a 6 card, and I was like, okay, I need to beat 3 back row. And I see the evenly, I was like, okay, I'm beating 3 back row now, because like, yeah.
And how did you feel with the time coming near the end? Were you nervous, or were you remaining composed?
Because of the future match, I was nervous. It's like usually I'm used to playing with time and everything, but like here I summoned the red resonator as we've seen, because I was like, okay, if he tries to set like card, the game will take some time, so I need to be ahead of him and have my resonator in circulation, so I can, if we go to time, I can win with this.
And you did. Yeah. So congratulations. I'm really, really happy for you. I hope the rest of your tournament goes well. Yeah. Congratulations on winning this feature match against Farfa. I see you've had friends who've been behind the camera taking pictures. You've got your fan club here ready, cheering you on.
Obviously, because I'm from Paris, and the Yu-Gi-Oh community is huge in there. And also I was working in a card shop, so every player of Paris know me. So that was also something to like see all of them like looking at my match. So yeah, that was incredible.
Exciting. Well, maybe we'll see you in the top cut if this kind of luck continues. So perhaps you'll get another feature match. Marin, congratulations. That was a really, really awesome game. Don't go anywhere, guys, because round 3 is coming up very shortly. We'll see you soon.